Uh, yeah, 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 uh.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to a fun off-season edition of River City 93. I'm your host, as always, Elliot Barr, and we're here to talk about the off-season, the fun, the great, the much-needed off-season. All right, so let's go ahead, let's dive into it, how things are looking up. But before that, before we get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you send it to a friend. We're right on the cusp of 100 listeners. So the goal for next year is to get to 120. Help us do that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. It's free. It costs you nothing. It just helps us grow and give you all the best news of the Richmond Kickers. So let's do a quick recap. Last year, we know we finished 13th out of 14 teams, 8 wins, 5 draws, 17 losses. Don't need to bring that up again. We'll leave that where that is. Now, for what the roster looks like, what decisions were made based on who's coming back and what happens next, we're going to talk about that. We're going to kind of comb through that right now. So, let's start off with those that are coming back. All right. Look at these guys. Look at these guys who will be donning the Richmond Red next year. So, key points who's returning, right? These are guys who are brought in on a multi-year basis based off of last year's contract. So their contract will end, I'm assuming, at the end of the 2026 season. Um, so point of before I bring this up, the Kickers maybe 2 years ago went in the other extreme of this, where they brought back maybe 8, 9 guys on multi-year deals, right? Trying to rebuild and hold together that core of the 2022 league title. We saw how that ended. A lot need to be cleared out. A lot of money was tied up, and they give them the Kickers the wiggle room to really build depth or anything like that. So I think that mistake has been learned. Now, those are returning. Look at Darwin Espinal, Griffin Garnett, James Ned. Let's start out with Darwin Espinal. He's great at sparking the team. Key from that left wing spot, kind of inside forward. Also could play a little bit of a center attacker mid. Griffin Garnett, good defender, growing, getting better. I still think there are parts of his game he needs to build upon, such as being a leader, being more vocal. Let's put it that way. But I mean, the skill set is there. I think it's just really from the head up. Once he gets in that of having a good run of games, and you know, we can see the best of him. We haven't seen the best of him yet. It can get there. I have no doubt about it. And James Shannon, young goalkeeper, he was the number one for most of this year, but I think this year is going to be strong enough. Can he cement himself as that number one, um, and whatnot? So those are the guys that are returning. Now, in terms of who's resigned, you go look at, obviously this is all from the Instagram page, but you saw this already came out. We got Josh Kirkland returning. Josh Kirkland is back, young attacker. Still good to see him there, and then also um, Captain Richmond, Dakota Bar Nathan is back as well. Also, Hayden Anderson re-signed as well. So those are 3 guys re-signed. So when you look at the onset of the entire team, you know, some good bones are there. Still, some points we build upon. We look at Josh Kirkland, had a breakout year last year, like I already mentioned. Can he add more? Can he not have the summers that not Berkeley? God, he's a quarterback. Matt Bentley had. Can he have not avoid the sophomore show, add more goals? He's a good hold up player, but can he become more defined in his role in adding assists? I think that's the next part of his game. Really, can he add assist? Almost, take that next step there. Hayden Anderson, um, a dual purpose on the right side. I think that's good to have there. And then Dakota Byron Nathan, he is the CDM. I think his best position is at center back. That's just me. I think he's a great center back for the League One level, and what this team needs. And then you look at options picked up. We have just had to list up. You have Becca Howe, Landon Johnson, Neil Sorford. Now, let's start off with Becca Howe. Started off as a left back last year. He's not really the best going forward, but I think his best position, and we saw this, was center back. Looked really good in that partnership with Marcel Large. So with Becky coming in there, that kind of shift things a little bit different. For Darren, and I'm going to pull up this list so you guys can see it here. For Darren, I think it's all about what you want to do with Beckett. It can really dictate how the defensive offseason or defensive side are going to work. You know, as I pull up this list, I can show you. So now, if you look at this list here, I have Becca Howe as a center back. I think whatever you do with Beckett, you are going to have to double up in another position. So if Beckett here goes to left back, you got to double up at center back. If Beckett stays at center back, you double up at left back or the fullback spot, right? Regardless, you are going to need at least 3 here. Hayden Anderson, I put him here just to put Landon in the spot because he's not always taking this spot here. But I put Landon here. Hayden Anderson, I put him at right back. He can do it. Do I think it's a strong suit? No. You know, if we were playing a back 3, maybe, but we're not. This is Darren we're talking about. Not. We know it's a 4-1-4-1. What I can see happening is Hayden is the super sub, kind of taking the Matt Bulldog role, being a super sub here for the right wing and the fullback spot if we needed to be there. Added defensive help, added attacking power. I think you don't lose any weight there. Then Neil Sorford, Darren Espinal, and Josh Kirkland. And I didn't add Dak, but Dak will go right here. Probably Dak here. In the CDM spot. So there we go. Matter of fact, let me do that now. Dak. There you go. All right. So we have Dak there. Now, if you look at the options to climb, obviously Matt Bolda, Clyde Echella, Jonathan Canagua, Revy, Pierre Lewis. Revy and Jonathan, I don't see a problem with those options decline. They didn't really add anything to the team. Didn't really grow. Didn't show anything. It's cool to let those hips go. Clyde Echella, I was expecting him to have a bigger year than because he was settled. I think he is a great rotational center back. You know, I'm not sure if he's the one. And definitely what Darren is asking his center backs to do is to be ball players. That's not Clyde's strong suit. His strong suit is being aggressive, being great 1v1. That's also where Griffin kind of excels at a little bit. So do you really need 2 there? I think you saw the best where we had Lodge, who was more of the aerial threat, can get up in the air, kind of distribute the ball out from deep. Matt Bolduck, I think it's cool declining this option. I think you could probably sign him a little bit less. It felt like for Matt Bolduck, and now at this point in time, if he is not playing here in Richmond, he's probably going to retire. So if you need to pick up, say if you just need extra body, and in preseason camp, he impresses, he gets healthy. I know that I think he might have had a leg injury at the end of the year. Regardless of that, bring him back there. It's not bad. Loss is there. If not, Matt, hey, you could always come back to the Red Army football team. I know Kate is probably already recruiting you. And then players out of contract. So these are guys who just contracts ran out. And a lot of these guys are coming off of the tail end of the 2022, 2023, 2024, and some 1 year deals here. But Emiliano Terzaghi, club legend, love to see him. The club isn't going to renew the contract. We don't know where he's going yet. I've heard rumors of Sarasota. Wouldn't be upset at that, but I think it was also time for both parties to kind of pull away. There's nothing wrong with that. Wish Emmy all the best. We love him. Just wish him the best when he plays against Richmond. Aiden Bill Hart, This is one I'm 50-50 on, and I'll come back to why I'm with him. But Aiden Bearhart, Simon Fish, another one I'm 50-50 on. I'll come back to him. Maxie Shenfield, just getting up there in age. I think what you probably put it down, I think you can probably reimburse that someone else around the field. Um, Marcelo Large, I really want to re-sign him, but I understand he could go test the work. He put out good tape. He did in a defense that was porous. He did put out good tape. And I think there's good things that he brings to him. I think there are some things that he might need to grow in, but hey, he is a good League One center back. If there's any way Darren can resign him, please do. Guy Franca, the less said, the better. James Vaughn, wish him all the best there. I think he's just didn't have the legs to cover in the CDM spot. And Pablo Hara, um, a good League One backup. I'm not comfortable with him being the number one here in Richmond. I think it's if you have James Sanders, who's a young goalkeeper, go get someone um, who can push him and not just be a mentor. I think James is at that role of his career where he needs to be pushed and know that you have a guy behind you that can take your starting spot and not just be a placeholder. Not calling about a placeholder, but that's where it felt like. And then Ryan Baer, the CDO. He's an aggressive center back, but just not what the Kickers needed at that time. Not what the Kickers needed. So that's what we're saying at, right? This is what we look like, in Darren's 4-1-4-1 or 4-3, whatever you want to call it. We have Beckett Howe, Dak, Griffin Garnett, Hayden Anderson, Neil Silver, Darwin Espinal, Landon Johnson, and Josh Kirkland. Where can Darren add to this? So let's look at it like this, right? If we're to look at what Darren needs to add, is a starting capable goalkeeper, someone who can push James in. Now, I also have 2 center backs or 2 fullbacks. And once again, that's all due to what you do with Beckett Howe. If Darren is like, all right, we want to keep Beckett on the development track of being a left back, you go get 2 center backs. Go get 2 center backs. If he's like, hey, Beckett Howe is development path is that of a center back, you go get 2 fullbacks. Not 2 fullbacks. Well, yeah, 2 fullbacks because I imagine Hernandez might be a rotation option there. Either way, you are going to have to put money in this defense. I think that's where most of it's going to come down to. I put it into this defense and also this midfield at some point. At least one striker, someone there that can push Josh Kirkland, but also, be a good change of pace option as well. Someone that can push them, but also be change of pace as well. So that we were not just, doing the same thing. And a midfield distributor, someone that can come in the midfield. Because Neil Sorfer, as he is a great box-to-box player in League One, it's not really the best distributor, I would say. So I think a distributor there would be great there to add. Now, if we talk about players who contracts got declined or options declined, I said it, Matt Bolduc is someone who I'm cool with the Kickers re-offering a 1-year deal to. Marcelo Lodge, I think he would be a good get at center back to bring him back, have him there. We saw what he added to this back line. He felt like the calm in a myriad of chaos back there. And Bill Hart, I'm 50-50 on it. I said that just because of the fact of what he can do. Like, okay. So for Bill Hart, does he stay at the same level? Please, maybe not. But I think centrally, he adds a lot. Like, he knows how to unpick defenses, knows when to find that pass. And the partnership between him, Darwin, was great. I would love to see him back, but I think you have to bring him back, 1, for the right money, and 2, does Bill Hart want to return? I think if those 2 things align, I say you bring him back. Simon Fitch came close to leaving last year. I think Fitch, if Fitch wants to leave, you could let him go. It's tough to say because he is a club legend. I mean, not club legend, homegrown legend there. And he's married. That's why he lives up in DC. I think Loudoun County, Loudoun United might be a suitable space for him. There's nothing wrong going there, going to the championship, testing stuff there. I think if he wants to come back to Richmond, I think that'd be great as well. But it just once again depends on the money and what's his role in the team. You know, um, and when I say role, we always know it's going to be right back, but role in terms of leadership responsibilities, contract, how long, pay, things like that. So those are the four that I'm kind of on the cusp about: Bill Hartfitch, Lodge, and Matt. Those are four I was, but everyone else are probably going to touch free agency, might retire. Those ones. I think we saw Franca Gee already signed for a team in Brazil in Serie D. Vaughn, congrats to him. He just got engaged and whatnot. So we'll see. We'll obviously see. So let me know down below, like in the comments on Instagram or on Blue Sky. Let me know, what do you want to see the Kickers add in the offseason? What do you think they need to add? Who should the Kickers, what positions should they target? What out of contract do you want to bring back? I've gave my four. What do you think? Maybe your list is different from mine. And what formation do you want to see the Kickers play in 2026? So, with all that being said, guys, I just wanted to bring you small season news. We already know how December is going to be. It's going to be a fantastic off season for the Richmond Kickers. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And we get to play that game of we're back. We're back. But yeah, with all that being said, y'all, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We will holler at you guys next time on River City 93. Be easy and be